What does pay to win mean? And do the microtransactions recently added to Bethesda's Fallout 76 classify as pay to win? These are the questions I'm really not going to even bother with in this video because I don't care. It's a bloody distraction, and what we call those things is utterly bloody irrelevant. Bethesda, you know that everyone calls pretty much anything that's not cosmetics pay to win. So when they talk about pay to win mechanics, you know what they're talking about. Yes, you do. You want to argue some semantic how it's not winning because there's no win state in Fallout 76. Fine, brilliant. Technically, you probably win that argument, but it will not make anyone happy. It will not make anyone less annoyed with you, and it just makes you seem a bit of a dick. We are interrupting this rant after the feedback from trained professionals who viewed the first draft of this video. It was pointed out that some people might not know what the hell I'm babbling on about. So here is the brief version. When Bethesda released Fallout 76, they promised everybody that the microtransactions would never be pay to win and would in fact be cosmetic only. They have released some microtransactions that were definitely not cosmetic only, and a lot of the player base, in fact most of the player base, would consider pay to win. Bethesda themselves have denied that these items are pay to win, in spite of the fact that they do affect gameplay. They repair items for you, or they send items back to your base so you do not have to travel there. They are saying this is not pay to win, but rather they are convenience items. Rant resuming in 3, 2, 1. This whole "it's just convenience" argument annoys the snot out of me. It really does, because it almost sounds like you're providing a service for people. We're trying to make your life more convenient. No, you're not. You're trying to allow us a way to bypass an inconvenience that you made in the game. You are selling people ways to avoid something in game that they want to avoid. You're selling people ways to avoid playing your game because certain parts of your game are things they don't want to actually engage with. Don't want to call it pay to win? Fine. Call it pay to not be inconvenience. Pay to not be bored, if you will. If that would be a better term, we can discuss it. But the problem here isn't whether or not it's technically winning. The problem is you now have an incentive in-game to add things that the players do not like. You've already started to do it. I mean, this is the big problem with microtransactions. In pretty much every game where there are microtransactions, even cosmetic ones to some degree, you incentivize the developers making the game suck just a little. Not enough to drive people away, but just enough that some people will pay money to avoid that suck. That is the problem here. It isn't what we call them. If that's your worry, if you don't want people calling them pay to win, fine. We can call them something else. Let's call them pay to not suck mechanics, okay? Pay to not suck mechanics. That's what they are, and that's what people are annoyed with. And in the specific case of the microtransactions in Fallout 76, it's not just the fact that it's pay to not suck mechanics. It's actually the hint that you're going to continue to keep adding these mechanics. You're going to continue to find ways to add inconveniences, boredom, things that are going to irritate people, and then try to sell them the solution to the thing you added. That's the problem here. The microtransactions that you've added fix a problem you created, and it makes people think you're going to continue to add more problems, more ways to make the game suck a little bit so that you can get people to pay so that it won't suck. Okay? Let's stop arguing over the classification of these and start dealing with the problem. The problem is microtransactions incentivize developers to make their games suck just a little. just enough to get people to pay to make it not suck.